here's my list. So I divided up my goals. So the health aspect is quite a large aspect of my goals for the year, just because it encompasses not just physical health, but also mental and spiritual and financial. For my financial goals, I want to diversify, meaning I want to play with stocks. My husband has done this in the past, but I think we should get more serious with it and be more purposeful about it. Spiritual health, super important. I feel like this year I did okay with it, but I don't want to be okay. I want to be on top. I want to be up there, thriving in my spiritual health. I want to pray more often. I pray every day. Some of them are passive prayers, like when I'm eating. Or I did start a routine in this last month where I was praying for Freya, but it wasn't as consistent as I would like. So I do want to include that in my morning routine, and also in my Sabbath routine. And then devotional. So I do spend my Sabbath mornings doing a devotional, but sometimes things have been getting in the way of that, and I just want to kind of correct that and get back on course again. And not only my own devotional, but me and my husband. We haven't fully recovered from it. And so I really want to get back on track with that because it's super helpful. And we also did on Sabbaths our highs and lows of the week, which was also really nice, because then we could address each other's lows and see if there was something that either of us could do to fix that. So in the new year, I hope to start this again. Physical health. So obviously exercise. So I bought a jump rope. You're like, what? I did. I brought a fitness jump rope. And the other morning I tried it out just to see if it was something I could do, and I like it. So my goal is to start out doing 5 minutes every day of jump rope, as much as I can do. I can take little breaks if I want to in the 5 minutes, but I do as much as I can do in 5 minutes. Okay, so the other one is my liquids. So I do not drink enough water. This has been an ongoing issue since when I was a child. I just don't drink enough in general, and I don't drink a lot of water. And so I've been trying to incorporate that into my morning routine. When I first wake up, I just drink water. All right, the other physical goal that I have is beauty. So I know you're probably thinking, okay, that's kind of conceited. What do you mean beauty? I've been taking pretty good care of my hair this year. I've been keeping it in protective styles. I haven't really been messing with it. If I do flat iron it, I'm really careful, and I make sure to use the heat styling spray. I use it religiously. I cover up everything. I make sure it's like moist on there. And I feel like my hair has been thriving. Look at it. It's longer, and I'm just really happy with it. So I want to continue what I have been doing. And the other beauty aspect is skincare. So this year I did kind of invest more in my skincare. I have been a drugstore operator as far as skincare, you know, ever since I was a teenager. And I just noticed that once I purchased these kits, I watch a lot of YouTubers, and they're sponsored by like Wish Trend, and so they have like boxes for skincare, and I noticed that I was getting like breakouts. My skin just wasn't what I wanted it to be, and so I invested in a box. Megan Bowen, I love her. She's a black YouTuber, but she lives in Korea, and she has a Wish Trend box, and so I used her box, her kit, for a while, and I loved it. It's got vitamin C in it. I feel like my skin has really improved but I ran out of her items, and it's cheaper to buy them in the kit. I was gonna repurchase it, but there was another YouTuber, Charmander. She's a YouTuber in Japan. You can see a trend. I watch a lot of YouTubers in different countries. And she had a kit, and hers was a little bit more expensive, but there were a few more items in there. And I've been using it, and I really love it. I feel like my skin has been thriving. I've been trying to do it every day, wash my face, and so I need to continue that. My mental health goals, and this is super important. So the first thing, I want to set up a morning routine. I know, I feel like this is all like stuff that everyone has already said, but it does work. So I want to establish one again, but I want it to be more doable. So during the work week, I want to take a short little morning walk. This is gonna be hard because right now I live in Oregon. It's cold in the morning. The last thing I want to do is put on clothes, go outside in the cold. But I feel like it'll wake me up. It'll help me get some fresh air, look around me, just get grounded. Just like a short little walk. The other thing I want to establish is, like I mentioned earlier, praying in the morning. Having a little prayer, setting myself up for success. I feel like that'll be helpful in the morning. And then the jumping rope. So I want to do that in the morning as well. It's only 5 minutes. And so hopefully I can get all of this done within like 25 minutes. So then hopefully I can come back, get ready for the day, and I'm just in the zone. On my Sabbath days, I can take a little bit of a longer time just because I don't have to get to work and Chris and Freya sleep in. So that's when I can really dive into my devotional. That's when I can write my thank you cards or just checking in cards, which I'll talk about later. And just write down any notes, think about my highs and lows. So that'll be my morning routine. Another thing I want to work on is reading more. I really love to read. So basically the only thing I get to read nowadays is my devotional, but everything else I just can't figure out how to fit it in. I do listen to audiobooks, but a lot of times those are just passive listening type books. Just something I can listen to while playing with Freya, that kind of thing. But I want to read again. I love reading books, and I just haven't figured out how to fit that in. A lot of times when I do have downtime, like meaning there's no Freya, there's no Chris, I gravitate to watching TV, like Netflix, Hulu, instead of reading a book because I want to relax. I feel like my mind can't relax when reading a book. So maybe I just need to find a series that I'm interested in. So I'm gonna try to research and get one by New Year's Day so that I'll be hooked and I can just keep reading that. I don't want to say that I'm gonna read like 10 books or 20 books for the year because I don't want the pressure. But really I just want to figure out a strategy. How can I read more? If you have any strategies, put them in the comments. Okay, so my third mental health goal is to increase my self-image and self-confidence. I am a person who has a running inner dialogue where I am doubting myself. It could be anything negative. You're not cute, you're fat, your teeth are crooked, oh, they think you're stupid, you're smelly, because I sweat a lot, so that might be something I'm like self-conscious about, that kind of thing. And then I tend to push that off on people. So I'm thinking it, so I think everyone else is thinking it. And then I start to look at other people as like bullies or being negative or they hate me. And sometimes that's true, right? I mean, you don't always get along with everyone and everyone doesn't always like you, but I do this all the time. And I find that it happens in my friendships, in my coworker relationships, with my family, that I will push this off on others. And it's not healthy. And I have found that I can't maintain friendships because I am just sabotaging. You know, every time I go into a new workplace, it's the same thing. I think I've become more self-aware of it at the place that I work now, and so I try to kind of take myself out of that thought and think, is this grounded? Like, is this based on actual things that have happened, or is it just the way that I was feeling and the lies I was telling myself? And so I want to work on my confidence. I want it to be from inside. I am a person who gets my confidence from others. I think this comes down to like my mom. You know, she is like my #1 fan. You know, she's always cheering for me. But I feel like that I relied on that so much when I was growing up that I never thought that it should come from me, that it should always come from others. If someone else wasn't telling me that that was good, then maybe it wasn't good. And it, you know, and the lies that you tell yourself become truth. And you know how that works. You can't tell anyone anything different if that's what's in their head. That's what they think happened. And every time you do that, you associate that with that person. It gets locked into your memory. And then you start to think that that's true. And it all started with a lie. I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, so I really want to work on that. I really want to value myself. I want to be able to realize my positives and my negatives, and I want to be able to handle those negatives. So the other thing is that if I do ever get criticism, I take it to the heart. I can't put the criticism out here and then look at it from 3D and think, oh, okay, yeah, I could really work on that. I think it's an attack on me. And I have to really work through the emotions. And eventually I realized, like, oh yeah, that is something I do. I should work on that. But it's after going through all of these, you know, emotional roller coasters before I can do that. And it's not healthy. And I want to be able to take criticism and be able to incorporate it and transform. And so that's something I really want to work on. All right, the other mental aspect is I want to learn how to sew and knit. So how is this mental? I feel like this will help me relax and also learn a new skill. So one of the things I think about is, what if there is some kind of zombie apocalypse? I know, what? What would be my contribution to the group? Like, I don't know how to grow crops. Okay, so that's out. I don't know how to build anything, so that's out. I can cook, but you know, if it's the zombie apocalypse, we're just using whatever we have, so I probably wouldn't be able to contribute very well or in a way that helped people. They'd probably be like, please don't cook. I am a teacher, but that's gonna be on the back burner, right? Like, we're trying to get survival things. So, sewing. I thought, well, that's something I could use. I could make things for my daughter. I could mend my own clothes. And in this age of, like, you know, fast fashion, it'd be a way for me to recycle things or like upcycle them. And it's a contribution, it's a skill, something I can teach my daughter. And so I think all of that would be wrapped up into the mental aspect. Something to relax me, something to help me feel like this is something that I can continue throughout my life, and a skill that I could have that could help other people. All right, so the last thing is my notes. So I mentioned this in my morning routine. So I have a stack of like little thank you cards, and what I would do was, while I was doing my devotional, while I was praying, I would just see if anyone came to mind, and if they did, I would write them a little note, just whatever came to mind. You know, I was thinking of you, you know, anything that just fell on my heart. It's a way for me to communicate with my family who's far away, in a way that's, you know, letters seem more thoughtful because it takes time to write it out and to send it. Just getting that letter in the mail, you get that little, you know, boost of energy, and I don't know, it really sits well with me. Okay, so the next thing is moving abroad. Why am I so afraid? So obviously I want to find a job abroad, and then I also want to start saving. So no matter what kind of contract you get, like what kind of perks, you do want to make sure you save. You'll probably have to get like a cell phone. You might have to buy stuff when you're traveling, purchase different furniture items that you might need. We have a daughter, so things for her. So I do want to have a little egg. The other thing is my wardrobe. I want to make sure that it is climate appropriate for wherever location we would be. So right now it's looking like it'll probably be a really hot environment. So I want to go through my wardrobe and start getting rid of things that I definitely wouldn't be able to wear in that environment, and then investing in other things that I'll need, because I sweat a lot. Oh, I also need to figure out what items I want to compile as far as teaching. So I have compiled quite a bit of manipulatives, and if you're a teacher, you know, you cut them out, you laminate, you get it all ready, and then you put it in your box and you save it every year, so you don't have to redo that work. I have so many at this point because this is my third year, and I'm trying to figure out if I should bring them with me or not. I'm kind of torn because it's just space that I'm taking up. Should I ship it, which might be expensive? Should I just make it when I get there, which means that I'm going to have to take more time to make these things, which is going to take time away from like lesson planning and, you know, life in general. I want to invest in just putting everything in a big box and shipping it over to the new school. Okay, so I mentioned this earlier, but I want to work on making friends when I go to this new location. I mentioned my negative self-sabotage and my friendships. And as you get older, it's harder to make friends. I think that it'll be easier because I have a 2-year-old and she'll be 3 when we get there, and she'll be going to preschool, which is nice because it's at the same school that I'll be working at. So she'll be there at the same school as me, but there'll be other moms with kids her age, and so hopefully I can become friends with them. Please be my friend. I'm excited about this. I haven't had any friends that have kids that are the same age as my child. Alright, so the next thing is work. To say a hello. So I am a teacher and I teach at a private school, but I have a professional teaching certificate through South Carolina. And I've kept up my certificate since then. It took me a lot to get that certificate, so I'm going to maintain it. And when you're looking for jobs abroad, they like a teacher that is certified. And so I want to maintain this. It's probably best that I try to do it before I leave, so it's just done. And the other thing that I want to do is more content reading. I'm a science teacher. I do listen to some science podcasts, but not as often. But I want to implement more content podcasts into my everyday routine, just so I can include that in my lessons so that I have more working knowledge. It just makes my classes more interesting. And as well as reading, I used to read a lot within my content area, and there's some books that I really love that I still talk about to this day. Okay, so the next category is family. Hey. Or to pick up the phone just to say what. So for Advent, I incorporated taking little snapshots every day, and I took a snapshot every day. Now, I don't think that I'm going to do that same thing for the whole year, but I do want to continue it. So every month or every like little event that we have, I want to take a little snapshot. The other thing is traveling. I want to travel to see my extended family, my mom, dad, sisters. They're all on the East Coast. So I'm hoping during the summer of 2021 that we'll be able to go there before we leave to go to whatever country we're gonna live in. And then obviously Chris and Freya. So I want to be more mindful when it comes to being a wife, being a mom. I noticed with Advent. So I scheduled out all of the days, what me and Freya were gonna do. And it was really nice just to know what was gonna happen that day. It was something I didn't have to think about because I had already scheduled it and like bought things if I needed it. And it was nice to just have those moments with Freya and with Chris. And I didn't feel pressure to figure out what we were gonna do that day, and it wasn't monotonous, like the same thing. So I do want to incorporate that. I know that I can't do that every day of 2021, but hopefully I can do it like 3 or 4 times a week. And then as far as being a good wife, we are trying to find time to spend like couple time. We're still figuring it out, but I could be more intentional. We have been getting in some time during this winter break, which is great, but then school will be starting soon, and you know, the whole machine starts back up again. So if you guys have any tips or tricks, let us know below. Also, mini road trips. So this is like a Chris and Freya thing. So we started doing this in the summer. Oregon has so much beauty. There's so much natural beauty here. You can find like a watering hole, you can find like a nice park, you can find mountains, you can go to the beach. So many pretty things. You know, with everything going on, it might be nice to get away at some point. So that might be something we should look into. Alright, so my last goal is, I've been making these videos just as an outlet, a way to have fun, help me with my speech. I think I say it less, but I'm really working on that because I want to be a better speaker. I'm a teacher and I want to be able to convey my message in a way that is pleasant to others and interesting, and our families can watch this and they're usually far away from us, so it's a way for us to stay connected with them. And then I also like the input from people in the comments. It's nice talking to people you may not have ever talked to in your life, and they're giving you comments and able to help you and see things from a different perspective. I really like that. And so I want to continue this. I want to up my camera game. I use my phone, which is fine for right now, but I love to get a better camera. I don't think I need lighting, but we'll see. My husband says that my sound is not good, so maybe like a camera with like a better microphone. I have no idea. This outlet is really helpful. It motivates me. It keeps me off Netflix all the time, and it helps me to reflect on things that we've done as a family or things that I'm doing in my classroom. And I do want to continue this. If you're watching, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna try to be more mindful about this. Thanks, Freya. Alright, so that's it. Those are my goals for the year. Thanks for watching, and I'll put some updates up as far as me reaching these goals or trying to come up with any techniques. Freya, you want to say anything? Alright, there's her hair. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. It's been a long time, and I've been thinking